What's going on? My name is Cole Connor, aka Robinhood. Today I want to talk about my 1 month experience with the stock market with zero experience going into it. I learned a lot along the way and I think it can help. Let's get into it. What's going on? My name is Cole Connor. I'm an artist and entrepreneur, and I was put here to do two things: create and inspire. Thanks for being here. Let's get into it. In 2021, I began the journey of becoming more financially literate. Approaching 30 as an artist and entrepreneur, I was just tired of not knowing. A little FOMO mixed with a little, I just wanted to push my limits, to step my family generation forward. I knew I could do it, and so I did. For the first time in my life, instead of immediately reinvesting all my funds into my business or creative, I dove into the recent-ish hype of the stock market and crypto. There's always been hype, but the past couple years have been intense with YouTube and the internet and crypto. I've dabbled in it over the years as a financially irresponsible millennial, but it's always pretty much been too late for a short-term gain, or I just wasn't able to, as they say, hodl it, aka hold, with the D and the L changed. To be honest, I didn't understand it at all. I threw $400 into Bitcoin in 2017, but immediately took it out when I made like $300 off of it in 3 hours. I didn't understand the concept of holding, of wave theory, of stock psychology, of options, or pretty much anything other than riding the pop hype waves. Over the past year or two, I've just seen so many stories of people gaining so much money in the stock market. So I started to pay attention to YouTube's vast array of financial gurus. I knew it was time to learn what this bad boy was really about. So I took $5,000, had a little fun with it. I tend to go through periods of extreme learning about different things. My job as a creator and entrepreneur allows me the flexibility to take large amounts of time to study. I love having the freedom to be able to study things that I'm currently interested in, and that's what I did with stocks and crypto. Every day for 3 to 4 weeks, I watched and listened to 2-ish hours of finance YouTube. I analyzed what some would say the unanalyzable. I lost money, I gained money. I learned some do's, some don'ts. It's been an exhausting journey, but I am so glad I'm finally in the game. And before I get into this, please know that I'm still very, very, very much an amateur. This is not financial advice. It's just what I learned, as they say, and I hope these can be as helpful to you as they have been to me. Here's what I learned. Number 1. Don't invest in something just because it's going down. In the first few days of diving into this world, I saw this one stock just tank like 30%, and I was like, oh, this is the dip that everyone's been talking about. I have to get in now. Let me buy it. So I put some of my Robinhood margin and some cash into it. Big mistake. Turns out it's a pharmaceutical company that the FDA had just not approved yet. So the stock had dropped 20 to 30%, but over the next several days ended up dropping 80%, and I immediately got margin call. Amazing what a little research would have showed me, right? But no, I got emotional and I just saw it and I was like, this is my time. What it taught me was you have to know the company that you're investing in, if it's going up or down, if there's an actual reason why that's happening. You have to know that before you throw your money into it, or you could get screwed like I did. Number 2, should be obvious, but it's not to everyone, wasn't to me. Don't invest what you need right this second. You have to be willing to lose it. It's hard to say, I know. Everyone tells you this, and it took a second for it to hit me, but when I saw the stock market and crypto just fluctuate up and down, it made sense. The stock market, your entire portfolio can go up and down in a matter of days or weeks. If you try to put your rent money in just so you can make a couple bucks, it could go down and could be down for months and months at a time. You don't know when it's going to go back up. So what happens to a lot of people is they put their, let's just say, rent money in, and let's say you put $1,000 in, you're like, oh, this will definitely go up in a couple weeks by the time rent's due or whatever it is, and it ends up going down. So they have to take the money out and they only have $700 now. But if you would have waited 6 more months, 1 more week, 2 more days, you don't know, it could have gone up and you could have actually made money. So you can't put money in there that you need in the immediate future at all. My advice. take it or leave it. That's just how you lose. If you put the money in that you need right now and you're trying to make a quick buck, yes, you may win, but you also most likely will lose. For example, that company I talked about in the beginning, I ended up holding a lot of it. And because I held it, I waited for it to come back up and I watched it. It had that 80% drop off and then it just slowly over months came back up. It always comes back up, it seems. I know we're not willing to lose any money ever. That's just how it is. You don't want to ever lose anything. Yet we're in the stock market where it's constantly up and down. The irony, it just makes you a better investor when you're not dependent on those funds, when it is additional income outside of what you need right this second. Number 3, don't sell when it's down. Just don't. This is my philosophy and lots of other people's. Like maybe if it's a little bit down and you see like a much better investment, maybe you don't have the money right now. Okay, you can move things around a little bit. But don't just get scared and hop out when it's down or it makes the whole thing not worth it. That's just not how you play the game. For example, if you hear that something is going to explode, maybe you catch it before it does explode. You can't just throw all your money in there and then it goes down 5% and just sell. That's a 5%. 5% times 20 is 100%. You have to be careful doing stuff like that. Just hold it and don't buy it unless you believe in it, that you really think it's going to grow. When you look into the psychology of the stock market and money in general, this is why it's so fluctuating, because there's so many people that come in and do that versus buying companies that they actually believe in. One way to avoid this, and I'm no expert, but is to look at the 52-week high. You don't want to buy ideally when it's like right at the top, because remember, the stock market does fluctuate a lot. So if you're buying at the top, most likely it's at least going to come down a little bit before it goes back up. So if it's at the top here, wait till it gets a little bit lower before you buy. Now, it doesn't always drop. At some point it will, but it may keep going up and up and up and up, but you just don't know. So it's better to be safe than sorry. I have to keep adjusting my hood here. Number 4, don't be afraid to move things around. Now you have to be careful, follow the other rules too. And there's lots of different types of people in the stock market. You have long-term investors, you have more short-term swing traders, and you have like day traders. I tried all of them. And day trading is extremely stressful, and you need at least $25,000 in your account to be able to do it multiple times every day. So, and if you have a smaller, batch, I wouldn't really mess with day trading. Swing trading can be fun if you ride the right waves, but you don't know what's going to happen with it all. So I recommend long-term investing the most. Move things around as you lock in profits. The stock market is like a huge game to me. It's like business in general. Video games for the big babies of the world. Even the best stocks won't go up forever. So if you hold a stock and you feel like it's been raising, you got 10 to 20%, just lock in those profits. If you want to get back in, you can. But remember, most likely it's going to come back down a little bit before it keeps going back up. So just wait for it to come down. Just be so wary of the hype. One example is me and my buddy Josh got in on Dogecoin when it was like peak height, and we did the worst thing you could possibly do. We were talking about it. We were like, yeah, it's about to go crazy. And that's when it was it was rising like by the day, like 40 cents, 50 cents, 60 cents. And we bought in, both of us, at like 62 cents. Guess what happened? It went up a little bit. We were excited, and then it just went all the way back down to, I think, like 18 cents. And we both lost probably like 20%, something like that. Just lock in your profits. If we would have locked in at 10%, that's way better than losing 40%. Number 5, this is like, I learned so well by doing YouTube, by like looking at YouTube University. I've learned so much about lots of things, but mainly the stock market on YouTube. So I highly recommend, this is number 5, is do listen to a variety of people. Lots of people have different opinions, opposite opinions. So listen to all of them and kind of gather your own opinion. That's the best way to learn, the best way to grow. I want to talk quickly about a few of the people that I really have found helpful. A lot of them repeat each other, but they just have slightly different views, and it's helpful to learn that way. These are in no particular order, but actually, here's what I'm going to say. I listen to Millennial Money the most. These are 4 dudes: Andre Jik, I believe is how you pronounce his name, Meet Kevin, Jeremy of Financial Education, or Graham Stefan. I think it's Graham Stefan. That's what we're going to go with, Graham Stefan. They each all have their own YouTube channels, and they come together and they talk weekly on millennial money, all 4 of them. I probably watch Meet Kevin the most because he puts out the most content. He's always, he seems like a true stock analyst who's trying to be a mix of a swing trader and a trader and a little bit of a long-term investor as well. Jeremy of Financial Education, super long-term investor, but he has lots of really good opinions about specific stocks that he really believes in. Andre Gic, he's really into like crypto and NFTs, very interesting experience and views. And then Graham Stefan, that's what it is, Graham Stefan, he's a very safe investor, so it's just good to get that super safe opinion as well. Highly recommend, just if you're going to start somewhere, I would start there. Next, Invest with Alan. He has a lot of like ads and stuff in his videos, and he repeats himself a lot. But I literally saw him take his portfolio that he does with his followers from 10K to like 120K last year. I haven't checked what it is this year, but he does that every year. So it's just really cool to see the swing trades that he does. Like he sells at the top, he buys at the bottom. Really interesting to see. Let's Invest with Alan. Jason Pizzino, he's like, I didn't watch him a lot, but when I was really into crypto, I watched him more. He does a lot of crypto stuff, but he had a lot of great opinions as well. A smart dude. Craig Percoco, I believe is how you pronounce it. He's a day trader, had great quality videos, and he was easy to understand and helped me a lot with the idea of day trading. I didn't really want to mention these dudes because they seem very cringy and clickbaity, but Run Guys, they seem to have a big operation, but they had some helpful videos when I was really looking into crypto, but like hesitant to recommend them. Lastly, what also really helped me, also got me into a little bit of trouble, was Cheat Code Algo. Not real trouble, but it's a group. So cheat code is something that tells you when it's at the top, like when you should buy, based on I believe it's based on volume, and I don't even know how to explain it, so I'm not going to pretend, but it tells you when to buy and when to sell. And so I bought it just kind of like playing around with it, and it worked pretty well. But what I found is when I joined the Discord group, I was so like, there's just so many people in the group and they had so many different opinions. It was really, really difficult to just like stick to your guns and do one thing. But they taught me a little bit about options as well, options trading. And I learned a lot from joining the group. It is kind of pricey. I think I joined the $200 a month version, but they have a lot. There's like courses in there. There's so much stuff. So if you're really interested in diving in, I would check out Cheat Code Algo. Just be careful. Go with what you feel, not what other people are doing. All right, number 6, and lastly, do diversify your portfolio. Very important. I think you should be diversifying into small cap stocks, large cap, huge companies, some tech stuff, some oil, like just like ETFs. And I'm not here to explain what everything is to you because it's just like so much. It would be so many videos, but just no matter what you do, diversify your portfolio, because sometimes tech is really down, or a small cap stock is really down, and everything else is really booming. So just make sure you diversify. Pretty much just in case, a lot of the stocks just bankrupt, kind of what's been happening the past couple months. You want to have some really safe, steady stocks that keep your portfolio feeling good, looking good, so that way you don't, freak out emotionally and sell. Jeremy, who's on Millennial Money and also has the financial education channels, he says that you just never know when it's going to crash. You really don't know. You can have your opinions and thoughts, but you don't know for sure. So just be careful out there. Diversify. Do your research. Don't sell when it's down. Don't put what you can't put in the stock market. And I believe if you're a long-term investor, you believe in the company and you just hold throughout this stuff and just you have a separate income source that you put in a little bit here and there. I think that's the best way based on everything I've seen. And if you want to take a percentage of that and play around with day trades and stuff, do it. But I wouldn't go all in on day trades. The stock market is not a get rich quick scheme. It's not that, I promise. You may get it, you may get lucky, like the lottery or something, or gambling. But I think for most people, that's not what it is. And I'm saying that because I don't want you to be scared of it. I'm not scared of it. I've lost a good bit of money and gained some money and made a lot of mistakes along the way, but I'm excited this year to start really diving into it more. So just don't be scared of it. Just kind of dabble with it, get your confidence up, learn it. And it could be your sort. It could like help you become wealthy, which is beautiful. And I don't think enough people in like the middle to lower class, or even middle upper class, are in the stock market. And I think it's a way people stay rich and get rich. And yeah, so I'm just sharing that with you. I hope it helps. I really love the app Robinhood. It gets a bad rap, and there's a lot of other ones. Like I have written down here, you know, Public, Webull, TD Ameritrade, and I have accounts on all those, but I just really like Robinhood. I like it. Feels fun. It's easy to understand. They explain things. I love the just aesthetic and the experience that you have as a user on the app. So for beginner investors, I recommend using Robinhood. Public is pretty good too, so I'm going to link both Public and Robinhood down below. Public is more of like a social media for stock trading, so you can see what other people are investing in, and you can invest in things and they'll see what you invest in and how much money you have, etc. in these. It's like a social media for the stock market. It's pretty interesting too, but I just like Robinhood the best. So I'm going to put a referral link for Robinhood and Public. If you don't have those, you can sign up and you get free stock and I get free stock. So it helps both of us. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. My name is Cole Connor. I really hope this helps. If you want me to talk about this stuff more, let me know. I got a couple more ideas on the way. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Every day I wake up with a vision, cooking in the kitchen, ain't no fucking in a mission, like yo. Shaking up your city with my bitchin', sold in the building, and the motherfucker fizzing like whoa. Cole won't stop till they get that gold. Cole won't stop till you sing my song all the way home.